Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio. If you've noticed over the last 3 weeks what Governor Mike DeWine is praised for his handling of the coronavirus crisis, he always defers to his staff, most notably his health director, Dr. Amy Acton. Acton, by the way, happened to be the very last cabinet position that DeWine filled when he took office last year. This week, we had a chance to sit down to catch up. Political leaders like to use dates because we like to hear dates. But as you pointed out, this isn't a tornado or a hurricane where you can pop your head out of the cellar and sound the all clear. What are we looking at heading into summer and possibly fall?
The best guess is that it will slowly come upon us. Each day will be worse. As you can see already around the country, the numbers get worse each day. The peak will last a while because people will be in the hospital for a long time, and no one knows for sure how bad that peak will be or how long it will last, but it will go down. We really don't know what June will look like. I have a feeling of what May will look like in this country. It will be more of what we're seeing in New York. But I think other things need to be in place for us to sound the all clear.
I have a 16-year-old son, and I'm working from home, and he came down the other day, and he said, "Dad, I'm worried." And I was like, okay, took my headsets off, and let's talk, bud. He said, "Football."
Yes.
At what point do you think we start talking about fall sports?
Well, I too hope that we will be enjoying football this fall and a lot of other activities that we already are pining for. We do know that there's a possibility that it will surge again, but we don't know that for certain yet. I think I hold out hope that if we really do this well on the front end, it gives us a much greater chance of being able to manage it. So if we want football, the things we're doing now, the sacrifices we're making will make that more likely possible. So I'm with you on that, I hope, especially being from Cleveland. I know a thing or two about Northeast Ohio and sports, and I hope that we are enjoying it together.
Now, in that answer, we saw a little bit of the personality that folks have seen out of Dr. Acton over the past couple of weeks. As we continue our conversation, we find that the path that she took to the post was not a typical one. If Dr. Amy Acton doesn't come off as your typical cabinet member,
never in my life did I expect a phone call or a job like this.
She's not. But from her first meeting with newly elected Governor Mike DeWine, she was open to change.
His very first question to me, sitting just like we are, he just said, "So tell me how you grew up, Amy." And I answered it honestly, which is not my childhood was not something I went around talking about extensively in my life up to very recently.
Yes, while we know Dr. Acton and the job she has now as Ohio Health Director, many don't know the path she took to get here and the obstacles she faced. A product of a broken home, there were financial struggles, abuse and neglect, constantly moving from place to place before the age of 12, including a time when she spent homeless living out of a tent. Experiences that didn't break her, but rather shaped her into the person that she would become.
It's made me have a certain resiliency and a focus in crisis and an ability to tolerate. It makes you hyper-vigilant, so I am constantly scanning the environment for threats and can take in large amounts of information. So I have this sort of protect everyone feeling.
So if it seems in those daily briefings like she is empathizing with those impacted by this crisis, it's because she truly is.
Today, looking at campgrounds, which is one of the places I was homeless, in a tent in the winter in Ohio, but knowing that there are people probably at campgrounds right now who can't pay the rent. And then we're deciding whether or not that's a good thing to have open or not. And so all these things, they're very, very difficult decisions, and I think about the people they're impacting.
In the past month, there have been Facebook fan pages and other groups created in her honor. Acton says she hasn't had the time to look, but her family points things out from time to time when she needs a lift, and it does give her a lift.
The one picture that it makes me teary-eyed now thinking about it. I don't know why, but it was a little girl who had done the chalk drawing, and she was laying on the ground and she had a cape flowing, or another woman had done. Like, those things are just, they're connecting us all to each other in very special ways. So
this is emotional.
Yeah. Oh, it is. There's no doubt.
Acton is one who doesn't dwell on the past, but for this one fact that drives her.
The story is always in all the famous pandemics is you didn't do enough, and you always rack your brain hoping that you've done everything you can.
With Democracy 2020, I'm John Kosich. Enjoy your Sunday and stay safe.